Hi, welcome back to the St James channel. My name is Ruth, I'm a youth worker here, and today we are going back to some interviews. So I have a real treat for you guys today. We're going to be interviewing my friend Emmy. Emmy worked with me at camp. All my friends are from camp, apparently. That's okay, they all have great stories. And Emmy is going to talk to us about what is it like to lose your faith and be angry at God. This is a really interesting conversation. We've been planning to have it for a while. So I don't know how I can say anything more. So on with the show, enjoy. Hi, Emmy. Thank you for talking to me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
So hi,
With a
Ruth.
fun fact. Introduce yourself with a fun fact.
Okay, so hi. My name is Emmy. Thanks for having me, Ruth. My fun fact is my last meal I will ever eat will be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with watermelon because they are my favorite things on earth, but they don't like me. I am very allergic, but they're also like my favorite foods. So I will go out with a bang.
Death by peanut butter.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
So me and Emmy have worked together for 4 summers at Johnsonburg camp. We've had a lot of Johnsonburg people on this little thing. So we've had Ronnie and Callie so far, and now we have you. So welcome. And I've also started by sharing a story about the person I'm talking with. And my story about you, I was thinking back to camp and everything we did there. But my favourite story about you is that you have decided to join my group of school friends who you've never met for game night every week, which is like one of my favourite things ever. So me and my friends do game nights every week during lockdown on Zoom. And one time we were playing Among Us and we needed another person. And I was texting Emmy at this point and I was like, hey, Emmy, you want to play Among Us with some people you don't know? And she was like, yeah, sure. And now she's in the group chat and she gets invited to everything. And I think they prefer you to me, which, fair enough. So
I still ask every single time though if it's okay if I join. I text Ruth beforehand. Is it okay if I join your group?
One of these times I'm going to say no, just as a joke.
Anyway. But I will listen and I won't join.
So now you have to come to the UK to meet all my friends who are now your friends as well.
After lockdown, after COVID, I'm down. I'm coming.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to talk something a little bit more serious today. So can you tell me about a time when you were angry at God? Just straight in with the deep questions.
Going in hard. Okay. So the time I was most angry at God is the time I totally lost my faith and I stopped believing in God altogether for I think about 2 years, I would say. This is again while I was working at camp. So there was, I don't say not 2 years, a year and a half. So I was working a summer and then so I grew up babysitting a lot of people in my church. And I grew up specifically babysitting one particular family in general. And we were very close with this family. I watched them grow up, all their children from little kids into their teenage selves. But there's one kid who was tragically struck by a car, and he died on impact. So I couldn't wrap my head around how God could let this really beautiful soul die. What was the point of having this really intelligent, really amazing kid just die? So I was angry at the fact that God took a child, and I fought with God constantly. I was like, how could you do this? What's the point? There's no point in believing in you if you would just do this. So I continued to work at camp because camp is something that is really important to me because I grew up there and I just felt like children needed a space. But at the same time, I fought constantly with the fact that I was struggling with my faith and that I was angry. So each Bible study that I would give, I'll always try and provide the best I could for children. But at the same time, there's always in the back of my head, why am I teaching this if I'm still angry? So yeah, I just was really, really angry, and it just brought me down an immense amount that whole year, just because I was struggling so bad. And then the next year, another child unfortunately passed as well, and I was just even more upset, more angry. But we had to keep going back to camp.
So what happened next?
So I realized that, so I was talking to a bunch of the pastors at camp, especially one pastor named Pastor Chris, who is one of my favorite pastors, as well as just being around my friends, you and Ronnie, who you've met already. And I realized through them that it is okay to be angry at God. God is fine with you being angry. God wants you to challenge. God wants you to have moments of doubt, because in those moments of doubt, you grow. And Pastor Chris pulled me aside, hugged me, and said, it's okay. Because I hadn't taken communion in about a year and a half because I didn't feel like it was appropriate. So once he pulled me aside, I took communion for the first time first time in a year and a half at camp. And I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And I went to the labyrinth and I cried, and it felt like everything was okay because God never left my side, even though I left God. And I felt really bad for feeling like I abandoned God, but at the same time, Pastor Chris and my friends were like, no, you didn't. You just struggled. Everyone struggles, and it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to feel like your faith, feel like you lost your faith, but through those, you really gain a sense of what faith is through the doubts and through the struggles.
It reminds me of the story of the lost sheep, and that God went out to find that one sheep that was missing and was never like angry at the sheep, like, why did you run away from me? Like, what are you playing at? You know that I'm the safe place, and you went out into the forest or whatever. Like, he was just like glad to see the sheep back.
Yeah.
Cool. How does that affect your faith now?
I think my faith is stronger than it's been in a really long time, mostly due to the people I interact with. Camp, unfortunately, you guys don't know what camp is, but you have Ruth, so Ruth probably talks about camp a ton. But
I sometimes tell them camp stories that are perhaps a little bit more extreme, so I'm sure you're thinking of the one that I have told them, and they often ask me to retell it, and I don't think they quite believe that it happened, but if you went to SNT and you heard that story, it happened. You already know which one I'm talking about.
It happened.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
It's all good. But so through just the people I interact with, I think my faith has grown even stronger, because I realize it's not just an individual thing that faith is. Faith is really a community. So so through my friends, through my pastors, through other pastors who are not even my own, I've really grown as an individual in my faith, because what once was nothing has like really like blossomed into like, okay, I can see God through the people I interact with, through the children that I want to help grow in their own faith, through just like daily interactions with people I don't even know. So it's this like really wide breadth of interactions and community that really like bolstered up my faith, and it's stronger now than it ever was. And I have to really thank that struggle and that anger, because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have the community I have, and I wouldn't have this like really strong connection to my faith that I have now.
I love that. Okay, so a little quick fire round. Who's your favourite Bible character? Quick fire round.
Yeah, I'm Joseph, and because I like the story of the Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's one of my favorite stories.
Is it all the pretty colours?
Yeah, nice. I love colors.
What's your favourite Bible verse?
I love Psalm 46 verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. And then we always break it down to be still and know that I am. Be still, be.
Nice. And what's your favourite song at the moment? Like God's song.
God's song. I have been singing Days of Elijah a lot, but it's not my favorite. It's just been stuck in my head. But
that song gets in your head. It's an earworm for sure.
Look, I'd be in classes and I'll just be humming. I'll be like, why am I humming this? But favorite God song would definitely have to be Oceans. Just always. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any advice for teenagers, just in general, or advice that you would have wanted to give to your younger self?
Embrace the struggles. It's okay to feel the anger. Just always know that there is a person there that you can reach out to and embrace that community that you have. Because like there might be other people in that community struggling as well, but there's always a hand there to lift you up.
Awesome. Do you have any stories that you want to share, or any like me and you stories to embarrass me?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, there's a lot.
There's no stories. We've worked together for 4 years. We've been best friends for 5 years, and there's no stories that you can think of.
I'm on the spot, Ruth.
One of my favorite stories, and I think I said this in the last video, but never mind, was one night I was sleeping and going about my day, and you and our other friend Ronnie kept texting me like, you have to pick up your phone, answer your phone, why aren't you answering us, pick up. And I was like, is something wrong? And they were like, we've booked tickets, we're coming to England in a couple of weeks, are you going to be around? Without even checking that I was free or that I didn't have exams or anything. And then you came to visit me and stay with me, and it was
so
lovely. Hi. But yeah.
Oh. So I travel, and I went to Costa Rica, and Ruth loves to remind me of the fact that I've gone to Costa Rica.
Do you know that Emmy went to Costa Rica? It's because she traveled midsummer, and because we work so intensely, like any new news is exciting. So like Emmy would like say a lot like, when I was in Costa Rica, and I'd be like, did you know that Emmy went to Costa Rica? Like, did you this? Yeah, she went. And other people picked up on it. It was a great little joke.
Casey was not having it towards the end of the summer. He would give you the best glare.
Sometimes going, did you know that Emmy went to Costa Rica? Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that if you're in that place that you feel less alone. Other people are going through it, have been through it. And yeah, I'm always here if you ever need a chat. Find me on Instagram at St James Church Youth. I've memorised that really well. So, some little notices for you. We are still doing drop-in on Thursdays, 5:30 till 6:30. If you don't have the login details, let me know, send me an email and I'll get them to you. It's a really fun time. After half term is next week. I don't know how that happens so fast. But we will be running this Youth Alpha program. So yeah, let me know if you want in. I think you do want in because it's going to be a really good time. If you don't know, Alpha is like a course which kind of introduces people to the idea of faith and like asking the big questions like, why are we here? And why did Jesus die on the cross? And why should one guy who died 2,000 years ago make such a big difference in my life? And those questions will be answered. You know, those questions are normal, and let's enjoy answering them. And that is all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Make sure you tune in again next week to find out what we're doing next, who we're talking to next. There's a couple of things in the pipelines, and I think they're going to be really good. So make sure that you check them out. Brill. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.